I never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Soleil Beauty. Today we are going to be doing an acrylic nail removal video. I watched a couple other YouTube videos to get some ideas, as well as having getting my nails done for a long time. I kind of know how my nail lady usually does it. So I'm just going to do a couple of different techniques to show you and see what works for me, and hopefully you guys will find something that also works for you. I'm getting these done in preparations for another video coming out next week, where I try out polygel nails. It's something that I've been looking at for a long time and they seem pretty cool, so I'm going to give those a try. But yeah, stay tuned and I will see you guys at the end of the video. Enjoy. So jumping right in and getting started, I'm using my finer toothed carbide bit here, just to see. In some of the videos I saw they used a finer nail grit, so we're gonna go ahead and see how that works. You can see I was struggling to see what part of, what edge of the nail would work better. I'm still getting familiar with the drill, so once I found the edge, I'm just gonna go ahead and start drilling down the tips of my nail. It recommends when you're soaking your nails that to make them shorter helps, and of course with less nail to work with, you're able to remove a smaller bit faster. So I just went in and I'm taking down the tip. There is skin on the bottom side of your nails. When you look, you do not want to clip that skin on the underside of your nails. It hurts really bad. So you're just going to take the drill and file your way down slowly and surely, giving yourself just a little bit of length above that skin under your nails. And this is what you should have by the time you are done. So moving on to the second nail a little bit closer so you guys can see better. I'm taking it to the edge of the nail and I'm just drilling into it and going straight across. Like I said, I'm still learning how to control the drill, so it slipped off my finger a little bit, but I'm not applying too much pressure, so when the bit slides off the nail, I'm still able to control it, so it's not like slicing my skin all to crap. I'm also using a medium slow speed, nothing too powerful or crazy. I did get a new drill for Christmas, but I wanted to use that in my new video for my polygel nails, and kind of retire this one in this removal video. Okay, so changing things up a little bit. Now we're going to go ahead and use my bigger teeth carbide bit. You can see here the other one is definitely a little bit thinner, and then you've got the chunkier teeth, the smaller teeth and the chunkier teeth. So we're going to go ahead for the next nail and we're going to try the chunkier bit here to see how well that works. This is actually a removing tool, and it worked significantly faster. Of course, I was having some problems sliding off the nail, but it really chomps through the acrylic a lot faster than the small nail bits did, so I would recommend doing the thicker teeth.
pretty well. It was nice and quick. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and clear off that hand since I got that whole hand down to what I wanted it to be. And I did the other hand as well, and I'm just dusting off, getting off the extra powder to make it easier to work with. Yeah, now they're all shortened and they are well above that skin underneath the nail there. Now that I've gotten my area a little bit cleaned up, I'm just kind of getting all my other stuff out of the way because I don't have a little dish, so I have to use an ice cube tray. It's perfect. It's big enough for each finger. So basically, yeah, you're just going to put each finger into a little cube, and that's where you're going to soak them. So, yeah, both hands will fit in, and it's just a small process. I just kind of soak both hands to get it both started. So I'm going to use my Onyx Professional nail polish remover. It needs to be 100% pure acetone. This will swell the acrylic on your nail and help it to lift off of the natural nail without too much pain or anything. So I just kind of poured it into each little ice cube tray to get it ready for my nails. So I did check, all my rings and stuff are good. My fingers aren't that short, but I know people wear knuckle finger rings and stuff, so I would definitely take those off. And then you're just going to set those in the acetone and let them chill for about 5-minute increments. It says 15 on the bottle, but 5 minutes helps it to cure and all that. So after about 5 minutes, I'm taking my wooden stick here, and I'm going to start shaving off. You can see it's already started to blister, and you can just kind of scrape off the layers. This was another trick I saw in a YouTube video. It worked kind of, especially if you're soaking, scraping, soaking, scraping. You can kind of go back and forth, but some of my nails, like this one, it took off a little bit of the polish, but it didn't actually swell the acrylic. So I kind of tried a couple of nails. I soaked them for a few minutes in between, and honestly, this trick to me wasn't so great. You kind of have to use a lot of pressure, and if your nails are really thin, you're going to be rubbing your natural nail, and you don't want that because you're going to go through. Your nails are thin underneath, and I was using a lot of power. So it kind of worked, but not the best. So I actually just decided to go ahead and grab my drill and just do it that way. Yes, my nails are softened, so I use a low speed, and I just went over to get the polish off to show the acrylic, and some of my nails were kind of thick, so I just used the bit to thin them out a little bit, and honestly, I found that this worked pretty well. And as you can see here with these two nails, they're nice and thin now. Those are thin nails that I can go ahead and work with, and they're nice and more pliable. So I did that to all my nails, and I continued to soak. And then my nail lady does this where she takes just a regular tip, and once they've soaked for a while, she'll start to put them underneath and kind of lift them. I'm just slowly taking the edge and working it underneath to where it lifts, and kind of just popping the nail off a little bit. When they've soaked, it becomes a little easier. I kind of struggled through it. These tips weren't working the best. They were a little thicker than the tips that I noticed that my nail lady used. So I tried to thin it down a little bit on one end with my nail file, and it worked a little bit, but there was like a little edge that kept coming off, and it was starting to get stuck like underneath the edge of my nail. So I kind of just did not do that again. I just used the thinner end, and it started to work for me. As I continued to soak and soften them, I could lift them easier and easier. So I moved on to my middle finger. Sorry for flipping you guys off, but when using the tip, that's what you do. You're just literally sliding underneath, popping it off, and there's the nail bed. It's not all upset or offended. It came off really nice and easy. So yeah, I just went ahead and did that to all of my nails. They kind of look rough, but we're gonna clean those up now. I'm gonna take my nail clippers and I'm trimming all the nails down to that skin. I'm not hurting myself by any means. I'm just shortening them. I've heard from my nail lady, I can't remember for the life of me why, I think it helps with lifting, but you don't necessarily want your natural nail to be the same length as the acrylic. You kind of want them to be a little bit shorter. And so, yeah, I just went ahead and I'm cutting them all short now to make sure that I can easily apply the polygel nails later. Now that I've clipped all of my nails, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take the 180 side of the filing brush, and we're going to go ahead and we're just kind of buffing off anything that glistens. So kind of at the bottom of the nail where the new nail is coming through, like where I would do the fill, you're just going to buff that and get any of the shine off. Yes, my nails are thin. This trick I've seen in other videos, and I've heard people be like, yeah, you really shouldn't do this, but it does help a little bit. You're just going lightly. You don't want to bust any of your really thin fingernails underneath. You're just lightly going on each nail and not using a lot of pressure, just getting rid of that shine. Now that I've done that to all of my nails, I'm taking the cuticle pusher and I'm going back and I'm pushing back my cuticles just to show more of the natural nail. They were pretty good because I tend to take care of my cuticles when I do my nails, but because, we just removed them, you want to make sure that everything is good. This helps prevent lifting and, yeah, keeps your nails natural and healthy looking. Once I've pushed back on my cuticles, I'm going in with these angled nail clippers. This is going to snip off and remove everything that we just pushed up, and it'll trim it down nice for us, so that way we have full easy access to our nail beds, and we have got nothing, again, to help with lifting. We have nothing that's going to be on the way that'll stick underneath the nail, so that way as it grows out, it becomes flimsy and it lifts off. And you can go ahead and see that the lifted cuticle around the edge of the nail, that like white skin, that's what we're going to go ahead and be snipping off. And it is important that you're doing this carefully and you're paying attention. It is pretty tedious, but you don't want to cut your skin too deep and to where you bleed and you're hurting yourself. The skin around the fingers is very sensitive and it's thin. And so what you are removing, you do need to be careful with, because there is some very painful stuff waiting underneath to not be removed. Alrighty, so I basically got all of that off. I knocked over my camera and it needed to charge at the same time, so now we have a sideways view. That is my cat Solo in the background. Shout out. So now that I've gotten all the skin and stuff removed, I'm basically done with my nails. I'm taking my acrylic primer dehydrator and I'm just putting it on my nail beds to really keep them clean and sanitized, and just so I can kind of see my work. They look a little bit healthier when they've got this on, because you're removing all the natural oils and things, and I don't know, I feel like it made them a little stronger because they weren't so flimsy. And definitely this morning, I'm glad I put it on, because they're not still moist and thin. They're a little bit drier and thin, but they don't hurt as bad. After applying that to each and every nail, I feel pretty satisfied with what I did, and yeah, I'd say we're good to go for start of our polygel video.
Okay, so each part of these videos has been done in a different part of my house. Alright, so here is the final nub product. Fully removed acrylic nails. These are my natural nails. They are just chilling in all their glory. Not too thin. They're not painful at all. They're just weird because they're naked. And yeah, they're good prep base. So after I went at the end of the video, I went in and buffed all of them. And I technically did this video last night. And after sleeping on them, yeah, they look great. I'm not complained by them. None of them cracked. I've had that happen where I've had nail people who like did them too thin, and then I had a removal, and before I got the next set put on, like the next day, they were so thin that they like snapped and they cracked. When you do your nails, they shouldn't be done too thin. Yeah, you're supposed to thin them down so the acrylic can really adhere to them and you don't have like these big, thick, honking nails on your finger. But doing it too thin can cause damages. On this pinky nail, probably about 2 fills ago with the acrylic, I was filing it down and it got a little bit thin here on the edge. I was like, whoa, 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 gotta stop. And it totally burned and sucked and it hurt really freaking bad. But that was the only problem I have. And now, like I said, it's been about 2 fills ago, so it's been a couple weeks. This was the one I was worried about, and it's not sore at all. I can go ahead and move it. I can kind of like bend the natural nail a little bit and it doesn't hurt, which is good. And yeah, none of them snagged, none of them tore off or did anything weird in the middle of the night. They're really good. So I feel like a lot of these tips and tricks were kind of useful. Some of them were a little useless. Not useless. They just worked less than I needed them to. But yeah, so next week we'll have the polygel video out sometime, and I will have a new set. It's weird. This is the first time I've ever seen my nubs for any extended period of time, more than like a day, where I was getting a new fill put on. So it's weird. I don't know. My fingertips feel weird, and honestly, picking my nose is a whole new experience. So, alrighty, you guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for letting me inspire you and give you some awesome tips and tricks, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.